What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Itz-Beez-Da, the TrackStar, and welcome back to Dancehall Master Class. In this video, we'll be covering chord codes further and just chord structure. So in the last video, let me say, just because this progression says it's 1-5-6-4, that means that you have to leave it as 1-5-6-4. You don't have to do that. So what we could easily do is shift this over. Let's highlight this as well and move this over. Just that simple. And it's almost like we have a new progression, which we do have a new progression, but basically we have a different sound, even though we're playing the exact same notes, just in a different order. You know, these are the type of things that you kind of have to take into account when making melodies. Like you might have a sound and it's like, yeah, I like that, you know, but I don't want it to sound repetitive, you know, or too repetitive. Let me just, you know, move a chord somewhere else. And, you know, simply just like that, you can easily create unique, I won't say unique progressions, but in a kind of way, you can create unique possessions or progressions. But more importantly, you kind of create a whole different sound just by where you play the chords. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, this was 1-5-6-4. So let's go back on the same web page again and let's get a different progression. So here now we see it says for let's take a look at it. So let's undo all of that. So basically in the article it's saying this progression, it says the 1-5-6-4 progression is a common chord progression popular across several genres of music. It involves 1-5-6 and 4 chords. For example, in the key of C, which is what we are in, this would be C, G, A minor, and F. Now, I didn't read all of that, but basically because I understand just how to, you know, count the notes in the chords and all of that type of stuff, which, like I said, I'm not classically trained. I don't play any instruments. It's just stuff that I research on my own, just like I'm doing here. I just type this into Google and that pops up, you know. So this is the type of stuff that you can do to kind of enhance yourself and get better. It's just read up on certain stuff. Just, you don't have to try and be a master pianist. You can just read and understand just the basics, and the basics alone will get you by. You understand what I'm saying? So that's exactly what I did. So it says this is C, G, A minor, and F. So if I were to look, we have C here, we have G here, we have A here, and then we have F. Remember I said this is a minor chord. This was before I read this. So this is the type of stuff that, you know what I mean, you kind of just have to apply yourself, spend 10 minutes or 20 minutes and just try and understand how the foundations of chords work. That's all I did. I never went to school for all of this shit. And, you know, it just comes naturally to you after you start reading about it, then you will start hearing it, you understand? Because there's nothing like seeing it, but there's more important stuff when you can hear it. You know what I mean? You can hear that something is wrong. So let's continue on, right? So we have, that's one. So let's just go to images. I'm pretty sure we'll see some more. So here we go again with another one. All right, so here we go. So we have a chord progression here that says, this is 1-6-4-5. No, we don't want to do that. It's pretty much the same thing here, same everything. So let's go. We have 1-4-1-5. So for that one, 1-4-1-5 basically would be, so this is 1-5-6-4. So 1-4 would be, let's delete this. 1-4 would be this right here. And then we would come back to 1 and then 5. So this would be 5 here. And let's put this back. Yep, that would be 5. So this progression would sound like. 1-4-1-5. You know, just the simple stuff that you can just, let me say, just explore. You understand? But in dancehall music, as you know, we really and rarely play notes in this fashion where it is sustained. So easily, and I mean easily, we can kind of turn this into something more dancehall. Remember, dancehall, I consider dancehall to be played in thirds, right? Especially the modern dancehall, I consider it to be played in thirds. So what do I mean by that? Well, when I say thirds, I mean basically all of the notes fall on 90% of the time, they fall on an odd number. Cool. So this is on 1, which is odd. I put this here on 3, that's an odd number, right? 4, 5, 6. No, it's 1, 2, 3. The reason why I say 3, and a lot of people get confused about this a lot of the times. This is on 1, right? I don't count this as 2. I count this as 1 all over again because this is used. So this is out of the picture. So now it's instead of 1, 2, it's just 1 basically because this is used. So we basically restart at the next blank step. So we have 1 here, then we have 1, 2, 3. 1 here again, 2, 3. Or we could say 1. Basically, let me say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it falls on an odd number even. Either way, you know, either you count by 1 or you start over and count from here, it still falls on an odd number. It could either fall on 3 like this or fall on 7 like this, right? So we basically just draw that in. We have our first part of the progression. Cool. And we continue. We do the same exact thing. So 1, 2, 3. Or we can say 5, 6, 7, right? Remember, because if we count from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is the 7th note. And if we count from here or here, this is the 3rd note, basically, because remember, every time we add a note, we restart count. So just keep that in mind. Cool. Do the same thing here. Or we could go a step further where we could say, all right, skip the 3rd note. Let's just play the 7th. You know, come back here and play just like normal. Or we could play here. Don't play the 7th. And you create just, you know, just by playing around, you can create just, you know, small, nice, simple, unique cards, you know, and that's the way it's just music. Music should be creative and free flowing. It shouldn't feel like you're trapped and you have to do this. You know, this is why I personally don't like music theory because while it would be nice to know all the music theory and all of that shit, I feel like not knowing it kind of lets you be a little more creative because one of the worst things to happen to me was like me getting a basic understanding of music theory because now I know what a chord looks like or a chord, you know, should be. Meaning structure and stuff like that. So every time I'm doing stuff, I kind of want to be tedious and make sure I do it the right way. And you know, it's not always good because you can overthink shit. And a lot of the times, it's best for you to just do shit as simple as possible. So that's something that I kind of have to be careful with. You know, if you're going to dive into that world, make sure you go in fully. You know, don't try to dive into music theory half-hearted and then come out trying to still be able to freestyle because it's not going to happen because the more you know about music theory is the more you will try to apply music theory and a lot of the times that can confuse you. So I try to keep music theory out of my head. I understand the basics. I know that in a major chord, I want to have 3 notes separating the first 2 notes and 2 separating the other 2, or 6 between the first and 4 between the second. So I know all of that. That's all I need to know. Everything else, I leave up to my ears. If my ears say it right, then it's right. If my ears say it wrong, then it's wrong. At the end of the day, I hear music. If you like it, nobody can tell us say a fuckery because I hear music. You kind of look on it like a child. You love your child. Who is somebody if you come tell her, say, don't love your child? You know what I mean? It's your child. Look for music just like that. So, yeah, so we have a basic chord here, just simple. You know what I mean? And that's like as easy as it could be to create a chord. You know, sometimes you can just put in single notes and that can be a progression. So it's just a lot of stuff to take in. Practice this stuff. Please practice this stuff. I promise you will get better at whatever you try to do. Till next time, it's the boys, Bees, TrackStar. Peace.